Hello and welcome to Read Brave, a comics podcast from the Graphomania Podcast Network. I'm your host, Vincent Bain, and happy Halloween! Ooh, I should get myself a spooky Halloween parody name. I'm your host, Visceral Insane. That was a terrible idea. Moving on. It's time for This Week in Comics. I'm going to see Thor on Thursday. On Thursday? I'm so very, very, very excited. This movie is going to be a lot of fun. All the critics say so. They use the word fun quite a bit. And I'm ready to have some fun. I'll probably see it Thursday night and then again Friday morning just before recording the Excelsior podcast talking about it. So be sure to check that out. This week, we learned that Zachary Levi will be portraying Shazam in the DCEU. And that's a bit of a weird decision. But we've seen great weird decisions before. People were outraged by Michael Keaton, and I was with the people who didn't see how the kid that played Johnny Storm could possibly be Captain America. But there's also been weird castings that failed epically. I'm looking at you, Topher Grace. Only time will tell. Levi will always be Chuck to me, though, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to see past that. We'll find out. Speaking of Michael Keaton, this past week we talked Batman Returns on the Excelsior podcast, and it was a really fun talk. That movie is iconically nostalgic to me. Also, I saw a Nerdist article that suggested the idea of a live-action Batman Beyond movie starring a now age-appropriate Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, and I can't stop thinking about how amazingly good that idea is. Please, somebody, make this happen. Last night, I made the decision to catch up and get current with Captain Marvel, starting with the most recent #1 for Mighty Captain Marvel, since it's only 10 issues to catch up fully to what just came out recently. I'm really digging it in general, and I do love Carol, but I always really, really dig the company that she keeps. Black Widow and Spider-Woman show up a few times here, and her team, Alpha Flight, is delightful under her leadership. There's a moment when they're all working and they all burst into a performance of Hammer Time. I can't even tell you how big my smile was in that moment. By this point, I don't think that it's a spoiler to say that Moon Girl will be teaming up with The Thing and the Human Torch in November's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur #25. I still miss Devil Dinosaur, but I'm very excited to see this Fantastic 3. Brooklyn Nine-Nine star Stephanie Beatriz has previously said that she would love to play America Chavez in the MCU with a script by Gabby Rivera, who is currently writing the America Chavez comic. And in a tweet, the actress showed off photos where she dressed up as America for Halloween this year, wearing both her famous star t-shirt and flag jacket. And I just want to say, I really, really would love this. There are currently no plans for America to appear in the MCU, but I really hope this shows Marvel that fans want this to happen, and she would be a great pick, which I should mention now that I've also been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, just started my binge on that, and that show is hilarious. It's everything I really wanted. It's a great place to pick up on if you are missing Parks and Rec. We learned this week that the majority of the MCU's super ladies have approached Kevin Feige in a petition for Marvel Studios doing an all-female superhero film. And I have to say that an MCU version of A-Force would be amazing. I really want She-Hulk and Spider-Woman in the MCU as well. I'm dreaming a lot this week, aren't I? In other news, reaching right out to my nostalgic heart, Scooby-Doo will be reuniting with Batman in a new animated movie straight to home video in January next year. Scooby-Doo and Batman the Brave and the Bold. 46 years after the team-up in 1972's Scooby-Doo movies, the film is rumored to also feature Aquaman, Plastic Man, The Question, Martian Manhunter, The Joker, Catwoman, Riddler, Penguin, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and even Scooby-Doo villains such as Ghost Clown, Spooky Space Kook, Gentleman Ghost, and Miner 49er. I'm pretty excited for The Question to show up in this film. That should be a lot of fun. I'll be buying this. It has been announced that Daredevil Season 3 will see the return of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. I'm so excited to see how they're going to portray the born-again story from the comics, and I'm honestly just excited to get as much Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin as I can, which, good news for me, Daredevil's showrunner for Season 1, Stephen DeKnight, has said that he has interest in doing a Kingpin miniseries, which sounds amazing. It's not an announcement, but again, another nice dream. We got a new Runaways trailer this week. It focuses more on the plot of the show, and I'm so excited for that. I'll be talking a lot more about this show in a few weeks when it premieres. So look forward to that. We're also going to be covering that on Excelsior, so that should be a lot of fun. If you're looking for a Halloween scare, the Batman villain Professor Pig will be on Gotham this Thursday. I don't watch this show anymore, but I kind of want to check out this episode. Pig is one of the creepiest villains out there, I think, and that's saying a lot for Gotham. We're getting a new comic book documentary series called Robert Kirkman's Secret History of Comics this month. And while there are a lot of these type of things out there, I'm always excited for another one. I love behind the scenes stuff, commentaries, interviews, this type of thing. So I'm always excited for more of that. And I hope this is one that breaks some new ground and tells some stories that hadn't previously been told by other ones a million times. Also this week, Spider-Man's long-teased video game got a new beautiful trailer. I've enjoyed every major Spider-Man game since the original PlayStation ones, especially since open world sandbox became a staple in the games. I love just running around and being Spider-Man, and I'm very excited about this game and very disappointed that the trailer just said it'd be out sometime in 2018. I need a date, people. Come on. In other news, something I don't talk about too much here, collectibles. We are getting Saga Funko Pops. These look spectacular. I'm not a big Funko collector, but I really want the Isabel one here. It looks so fantastic. They did a great job designing these. If you like Saga, you're going to be interested in these Funko Pops. Finally, I know it's not comic book related really, but I don't care. Stranger Things Season 2 was so amazing. No spoilers, but I was so engaged and I can hardly think about anything else since finishing it. I need Season 3 now, yesterday. You know what? I'll wait a week. I'll give you a week. 1 week to make Season 3. Thank you, please. Or at least a novel, comic book, audio drama, cartoon show, anything to give me more. Sesame Street did a Stranger Things parody recently, and I'll be looking for a video of that as soon as I'm done here, probably. Moving on from there, it's time to talk about comics that came out last week that I enjoyed. First up, all new Wolverine number 26. Here, the actual Wolverine, Jonathan, is dressed in an adorable superhero costume, and this alone makes this issue worth checking out. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 24 came out last week, featuring mini stories of Moon Girl trying to find a new partner. And I have to admit, I never knew I needed a Moon Girl X-Babies team up, but that was one of the best things in comics ever. I posted a picture of that on my Twitter, so you should go check that out. USAvengers number 11 came out last week, and finally we were seeing what happened to Cannonball. And it's a weird, absurdist journey into an Archie Comics parody. Not exactly what I expected, but the right kind of absurd. Jean Grey number 8 served up a very welcome return to the Morrison and Quietly's new X-Men run and made me really want to go back and reread all of that, which I kind of already did, but now I really, really want to. Thanks, Jean Grey. Amazing Spider-Man number 790 was a pretty good issue, but I cannot forgive its lack of Mockingbird. Is this how I judge my Spider-Man comics now? I guess so. Hey, it's not my fault that's where they set the bar. Now, moving on to comics that are coming out this week. Here's what you should pick up tomorrow. Or whenever you're listening to this. In case you're not listening to it on Halloween. Because you have spooktacular things to do. What am I doing? Moving on. Captain America number 695 is coming out this week. This is where the Wade Samney run begins, with Home of the Brave Part 1, with Cap picking up the pieces after Secret Empire. I'm very interested to see how this creative team will handle all of this. Batman number 34 comes out as well, and I feel like I should just go without saying from now on, if there's a Tom King Batman issue out, I'm recommending it. We're also getting a Deadman number 1, the start of a new Deadman miniseries, this week by Neil Adams. Deadman's comics always interest me, but I never actually end up reading them, even when I do pick up the issues. I really should fix this. Astonishing X-Men number 5 continues to tease the return of Xavier while raising a ton of questions and not answering anything. I'm really hoping for some answers this issue. Come on, please. Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man number 6 has J. Jonah Jameson interviewing Spider-Man, and I'm really curious where Zdarsky is going with this. But they usually like his dialogue quite a bit, so this should be a lot of fun. Miles Morales' Spider-Man series is going to legacy numbering with issue number 234, and he's getting his own Sinister Six, which I'm really interested in seeing how they handle here and how they make it unique to him. Black Bolt number 6 comes out, and this series has been absolutely stunning in writing and in art. Saladin Ahmed and Christian Ward have been blowing me away with this series, and I expect nothing but greatness for this next issue. Power Pack is also coming back this week with Power Pack number 63, but for only one issue for some reason? This fascinates me, really. I'd still really like to see Power Pack adapted in some manner. I think there's a lot of potential there. Also, if you don't know what Power Pack is, look that up. Thank me later. And this brings us to the end of this spooktacular episode that had almost nothing to do with Halloween except for that I recorded it and released it on Halloween. If you want to get into contact with us, hit us up on Twitter at read_brave, on Instagram at readbravecomics, email us at contact@graphocast.com, or personally, I'd love to talk comics with you, especially spooky ones. I'm just forcing it now. Hit me up on Twitter at FleshEater. If you would like to support the Graphomania Podcast Network, and specifically this show, check out patreon.com/Graphocast, GRAPHOCAST, and get some extra goodies for doing so, including my detailed notes for the stories that we cover on the Excelsior podcast. Please remember to leave a rating and a review on iTunes. Hopefully a good one. That would be swell. I'm going to go give all my candy away to costume hoodlums now. Goodbye! This has been a Graphomania production. If you would like to hear more podcasts, go to graphocast.com, GRAPHOCAST.com. Follow us on Twitter at Graphocast and like the Graphomania page on Facebook for news and updates.